Is Nintendo already backpedaling on the price of their $80 games? Shocking. I thought that they would at least wait until we finished paying these games off in installments. That's right, I see you. I know some of y'all used Klarna to buy Mario Kart World. Okay, you're not fooling anybody, and honestly, I'm not even judging you. I'd just be pissed if that were me. However, there's a catch, ladies and gentlemen. Before we jump into it, there's always a catch. The truth is always a little bit more nuanced, so today we'll dive deep to figure out exactly what's going on. But first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. This was just posted over on The Verge. Mario Kart World and other Switch 2 games are 10% off. I wasn't expecting to see any deals on Switch 2 games for a while, even though the console is currently much easier to find in stock. Game discounts, especially ones on first-party Nintendo launch games, aren't the norm, and this has been true for decades. You guys remember back in the day when the Wii was out, and even as far back as the GameCube, you had to wait until the Player's Choice editions inevitably came and hit the shelves before you were able to get any sort of discount on any of these first-party Nintendo games. And then I would say after the Wii U, that kind of stopped, right? I feel like for the Switch, did we see any Player's Choice games for the Switch? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Apparently they didn't do it. It was called Nintendo Selects with some of, I think it was with the Wii or the Wii U, they changed it to Nintendo Selects, right? And they just didn't do that with the Switch. And so if you waited for like a Breath of the Wild price cut, you were waiting for quite a while, unless you got real lucky with like some Black Friday deals. Nintendo never lowers the prices of their first party games, at least not for a year. So the fact that we are literally like what, 6 or 7 weeks after the launch of the Switch 2 and we're already seeing some of these games 10% off is actually insane. Are these early discounts evidence that the Switch 2 actually isn't doing as well as some people might have you believe? Were the doubters right? Well, hang on, this doesn't tell the whole story. All right, don't go in the comments. Hang on, we gotta clarify what's going on here. Okay, it's true that today you can get 10% off on the likes of Mario Kart World and the Switch 2 editions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Sure, these are small price drops, but anything that brings them closer to the cost of last gen Switch games is a nice deal in my book. So here you can see there are links to both Mario Kart World and the 2 Zelda games that have been ported over to the Switch 2, and they are $72 at Woot for a physical copy. And I was confused here. I thought this might be a scam. Okay, I trust The Verge, but I thought like, oh, this is going to be some sort of like affiliate marketing thing, like I'm gonna have to like sign up for something and I'll have to like use points to redeem to make it 10% off. No. If you click the link, it just brings you to Woot, which is apparently an Amazon subsidiary. I had never heard of Woot before, but as you can see at the top of the screen, you can use Amazon Prime for Prime shipping. Now this is not available on Amazon. I did just double check, this deal is not available there, but you can see that the game is 10% off. You could objectively just come here and for $72 get Mario Kart World physically, and that's it. It is limited to 1 per customer, so you can't buy a bunch of these and resell them for $5 profit. Okay, and the standard shipping is kind of long. It's free standard shipping for Prime members. Okay, so you don't get that, you know, exclusive 2-day shipping type deal, but you do get free shipping at least. So you at least, you know, it's $71.99 plus tax. You're not paying for shipping if you got Prime, and that's it, right? But here's the thing. Okay, Woot, there's a little bit of a catch here. Okay, first of all, that standard shipping, boys, is long. Today is the 28th, and so you ain't getting this thing until at least August 8th or 12th. That's a week and a half or 2 weeks from the time of recording this video, which for some people you might not care, right? Like let's say you have the digital version of Mario Kart World and you kind of just want it physically because you're a physical game collector or whatever. You don't mind paying for it twice. I know that's a horror story for some people, giving Nintendo money twice for the same game. I know that's a horror story, right? And people tossing and turning and thinking about those folks, but let's say that's you, right? You got disposable income, you want to have just you like the box on the shelf, right? I don't know, I'm not judging you, I've done it before, but the point is, okay, you're gonna have to wait 2 weeks, and so maybe you don't care that it's 2 weeks because you've got a digital version and you'll just play that and you were planning on keeping it sealed. Like fine, here's the second catch, right? Because there is a third one, so stay tuned for the third one if you don't want to miss it. All right, customer note: all Nintendo Switch video games are region free and will function normally on any Switch console. Additionally, units might ship with Spanish as the secondary language on the packaging. So what they are doing here is they might not send you the English version. It could be the Spanish version version or the international version that has multiple languages. For example, let me show you. That's what happened with my Pokemon X version that I bought. It's still sealed. I bought this on Amazon, and it was directly from Amazon, not some sort of third-party seller, but it says UAE, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Singapore official product, right? And on the back it's completely English, right? Like the entire, besides that little logo, there's really no difference on the packaging, on the box, or anything like that. Like this is an official product, right? Like this is real, but it is an international version of the game. So that's probably what they're selling in some form or fashion here on Woot. Now maybe you will get the English copy. I don't know if they just have like a bucket full of just a random assortment of these, and maybe you'll get English, maybe you'll get Spanish, maybe whatever, but at least they're all region free, I guess. So in theory it should still be playable on your Switch too, although who knows. If you guys buy from this website and you try it out, let me know in the comment section below in 3 weeks when you actually get your hands on the copy. Is it in English? Is it not? And by the way, I'm not sponsored, right? Like I'm not going to give these guys money. I don't know what's going on here, but if you want to give it a try, if you want to try saving 10% on Mario Kart or one of the Zeldas, go ahead and give it a shot. But here's the third catch. Okay, Woot is actually not your normal online retailer. What do I mean by that? Well, this discount is for a limited time. That's pretty standard, or until supplies last. Now originally Woot apparently was founded in like 2004, and it's an online company that sells electronics and things like that, but their gimmick, right, every day they would have a new sale on one item, right? That was their thing. You would go to Woot every morning just to see what was on sale there, and it would be on sale for the day, and then after that it's either gone or it would be on sale until it sells out, and then after that it's GG, the sale is over, right? And so Woot sort of operates in a similar way today. I don't think it's every day, but here we could see down here they actually break down the sales stats here. So percentage of sales per hour, percentage of sales per day, the states that are buying this Woot, right? I guess they call this deal a Woot or something, I don't know, but here you can see right here 4 days left or until sold out, right? So this deal is literally it's a timed exclusive. Okay, this is a rare spawn. This is only going to be available for a certain amount of time. If a bunch of people buy it, it might not even be here for 4 days, right? And so this is going to be the case also for the 2 Zelda games on Switch 2, and that's kind of the catch here. It's a long shipping time. It might be the international version of the game, which should still work, but if you really want like the North American copy of the box art or something, maybe that would piss you off. And also it's a limited time thing and you might miss out, right? It's not a guaranteed thing, but for some people saving 10% might be worth it, right? Like if you're not even going to get your Nintendo Switch 2 for another week or so, then maybe you just order this now and you save a little bit of money on Mario Kart, or I mean, I guess if you're getting a Switch 2 you're probably getting the bundle, but you know, let's say Tears of the Kingdom or something like that. Like you could order it now, save a little bit of money. By the time it comes in the mail, you'll have your Switch 2, bada bing bada boom, you're good, right? Here's the thing though, is this Nintendo lowering the price, or is this just a consequence of Woot's business model, right? And I think the answer is more so the latter rather than the former, and the evidence of that is that these games are not on discount anywhere else, right? Typically what you'll see is if somebody like Best Buy does a small discount on one of these games, a lot of times Amazon's strategy is they'll try to price match and they'll try to do the same thing, right? So that way if you go and you're looking, oh, maybe I'll go to Best Buy today to pick up Tears of the Kingdom, and then you think, okay, well actually before I drive all the way there, let's see what it costs on Amazon. Oh, it's the same price, boom, I'll just get it on Amazon next day delivery. I don't gotta leave the house, GG, you're done, right? And that's why Best Buy is getting screwed. But same thing with like Target, Walmart, things like that, right? These companies will literally just copy each other's discounts when they can, and the fact that this is exclusively to Woot with their current sales strategy indicates to me at least that you know, this is not from Nintendo cutting the prices. This is just Woot doing something to get people to come to their website, right? Like they're just trying to get more traffic here. But one thing is for sure, and that is that if these physical copies were flying off the shelves, especially as an Amazon subsidiary, would they do this, right? Like if they only had a certain number of these and they were flying off the shelf, they probably wouldn't pick these for a 10% discount, let's be real, right? So I don't know, like maybe it's the case that Amazon just has like way too many of these physical copies they are not selling, and so they're like, okay, send them over to the Woot warehouse, maybe they will maybe they'll be able to get rid of some of them with our 10% discount or something like that. But here's the other thing, if we think back to which games did not sell well when the Switch 2 first launched, the answer is the third-party games, right? I made a whole video about this, about the game key cards and how the game key cards flopped, and everyone was saying, oh my god, everyone hates game key cards, oh my god. And then the truth is, like, that's because all the game key cards were just re-releases, and they were games that everyone's already played before on PC or PlayStation or whatever the case might be. So the truth was pretty clear, right? Anybody paying attention knew that the third-party games on launch were not going to sell very well because everyone's played them already. Like, there's no demand there, right? Like, who cares? The demand was for the Nintendo first-party stuff, which was Mario Kart World, and that was really it, because there was, I mean, there was no other games at launch. But since we know that to be the case, you would think that, okay, well, if they're discounting these first party Nintendo games, surely they would also be discounting those game key cards in the same manner, because if the logic is, oh my god, these things are piling up and we don't know what to do with them, nobody's buying them, well, we know for sure based on data that nobody's buying the third party physical stuff. But the problem with Woot, and maybe I'm just stupid and I can't figure this website out, but there's no search bar here, right? I can't search for Cyberpunk, so all we can do is search through electronics, and you can see, we see the games in question here, right? They're 10 or 11% off. We could see Flight Simulator is on sale. We see actually the double pack of Scarlet and Violet is $90, down from $120. So if you guys wanted to get your hands on, this is a 25% discount here for Scarlet and Violet. Again, this might be a a region free game, so just be aware of that. But if you guys wanted a discount on this, definitely check that out. That's actually a little bit more interesting to me, honestly, than the other games, although I will say Scarlet and Violet are trash, everybody knows that, but at least you can get the double pack for cheaper. I haven't seen the double pack on shelves lately, so maybe that's like, now's your chance to get them. But if we scroll through here, like, I don't see, here's another Switch game, but I don't see any of the third-party Switch 2 releases here, and so that tells me that this deal is not because these copies were piling up, because otherwise they would be doing that for the game key cards as well. But I mean, hey, maybe they just never got a shipment of them in, right? Although as an Amazon subsidiary, they would technically have anything that Amazon has, right? So I'm going to assume here the strategy is just they've got a couple of copies on sale just to draw traffic and drum up interest for this website, and do kind of like the old school doorbuster strategy where they say a TV is $99 but they only got 3 of them, right? Maybe that's what's going on here, and maybe by the time this video goes up the sale's going to be gone because everyone will have bought it already. But I don't know. I mean, that's the only logical conclusion I can come to, because I have never heard of this website until now. But here's the other thing, okay, and this is the other point that we need to touch on, because Nintendo wouldn't be the only company to backtrack on their $80 games. Recently, Microsoft backtracks on plans to sell $80 Xbox games. Here's how much you'll pay. The Outer Worlds 2 was originally supposed to be the first Xbox title with an $80 price tag, but the company is reducing it to $70, citing market conditions. This news first broke the other day on a tweet from the Outer Worlds official page here over on Twitter. Dear Galactic citizens, we have just received your SOS via Skip Drone about the pricing. As an organization devoted to making sure that corporations do not go unfettered, we at the Earth Dictorate have worked with Redacted to revise the price of the Outer Worlds 2. While this will not bring peace to the galaxy or even your local colony, we assure you all that we are here to fight for all colonies in every way that we can. From the office of the director of the Earth Dictorate. Here you can see that the price was lowered from $80 down to $70. Microsoft said, we're focused on bringing players incredible worlds to explore, and will keep our full price holiday releases, including the Outer Worlds 2, at $70 in line with current market conditions. So basically what happened here is, back during the whole tariff war on every country on the planet, okay, some of these companies, including Nintendo and Microsoft, immediately announced price increases, right, for whatever reason, whether it was politically motivated, whether it was just to save themselves in case this does happen, or maybe it was just greed. Maybe they were just like, hey, we can use this as an excuse to raise the price, let's go ahead and do it, right? Whatever the reason actually was, that's why these prices went up to 80, right? That was when this happened. And now they're saying, well, market conditions, as it turns out, we don't want to sell them for 80, right? So maybe it was the backlash, maybe it was the fact that they aren't going to experience as much tariffs as they thought, or maybe they're not going to have any at all, or maybe whatever. I don't know what the case is, right? Maybe the developers themselves were kind of pissed because maybe they weren't going to see increased profit. I don't know what the deal was, but either way, Microsoft was the first to play chicken here, and they backtracked a few days ago, and now we see the first party Nintendo stuff is also going a little bit on discount here. Still more than 70, but a lot closer to it at least. So is this an industry trend here, or is this just a coincidence, right? It's just a coincidence that, oh, Microsoft backtracks because of the backlash. Nintendo isn't going to backtrack, but this one little thing on Woot is just a one-off example of just like, oh, maybe you'll get lucky and get 10% off sometimes from some retailers. I don't know, but I am curious to know what other Nintendo games are going to be $80, and we might not be far off from that, because we should be seeing a Nintendo Direct within the next couple of days. a lot of people are saying that we're going to see a Nintendo Direct on Wednesday. That's the rumor, at least. We don't have any sort of like leaks or anything like that, but we should be seeing some really interesting announcements at this Nintendo Direct. First of all, we're looking for the reveal of the long rumored Persona 3 Reload for Nintendo platforms. A leaker with a credible record in the Atlas and Sega space has suggested that, quote, many obvious ports are on their way, encouraging fans to, quote, keep reloading the newsfeed, a subtle nod to the title's potential inclusion. Another title that may appear is Plants vs Zombies Replanted, because there was a pre-order listed, then it was taken down. Also anticipated is SpongeBob SquarePants Titans of the Tide, recently rated in the German USK board and set to launch in November, developed by THQ Nordic. Two other major titles that we are looking to see more information for are Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, because in South Korea there was a rating that was published for Metroid Prime 4 and Hyrule Warriors got a rating published in Brazil. So we're already starting to see some of these rating boards give these games ratings, which is usually a sign that these games are closer than not to coming out. So I suspect we will see Hyrule Warriors and Metroid Prime 4 by the end of the year, because that's what they initially said we would see, but also we should probably see a release date within this week, hopefully. So there are some really big things we're expecting with regards to the Switch 2 for the July Nintendo Direct that is probably out in just a couple of days. But the question is, what are the prices of these games gonna be, right? I think for the third-party stuff, they're probably not gonna be 80 bucks, right? None of the third-party developers really committed to that, I would say, at least not with their chest out. I think they were waiting to see what the backlash would be, and there's been some backlash for sure. Metroid Prime 4 is a Switch 1 game that is having a Switch 2 version, and we've already seen that with Pokemon Legends ZA. That game is also in the same boat where it's gonna have a definitive version on the Switch 2, but it's also gonna have a Switch 1 version, and we see that that version is not $80, right? On Nintendo's official website you could see that it is $60 for the Switch or $70 for the Switch 2 version. So I suspect all of the first party stuff that is both a Switch 1 and 2 game, it's probably not going to be 80 bucks because it wasn't built from the ground up for Switch 2, right? It was built as a Switch game. The Switch 2 enhanced version is just a little micro optimization, right? So it's just a little bit better, so they charge you a little bit more, but it's not full 80 bucks. Super Mario Party Jamboree, the Switch 2 edition, is actually $80 though, so I guess my logic there is a little bit flawed, but I mean, maybe it's the case that they put a lot of work into the Jamboree TV portion of this. I have no idea, but either way, we are looking to see what are the prices going to be for these upcoming games. I think that neither Metroid Prime nor Hyrule Warriors will be $80 on the Switch 2, but that's just a guess. You guys can let me know in the comment section below what you think, and what do you think is going on here? Why do you think these games are on discount? Is it just a nothing burger? Is it just, oh, that's what Woot does, that's why these are cheaper, right? Or does this indicate something else to you guys, especially because Microsoft has backtracked as well? Do you think that, you know, maybe there's something going on here? Maybe these retailers are unhappy with the amount of physical copies they have stacking up, and this is just how Amazon is getting around it and getting some of these copies out of the door? Who knows, right? Do you think this was a directive from Nintendo? Do you think Nintendo said, hey, put these on discount and see how well they sell, right? If they see a huge explosion in sales, maybe Nintendo will say like, oh, okay, well, actually people really will buy more of them if they're 70 bucks, right? Let's lower the price back down to 70. Who knows, right? That's what I'm curious to know. So who knows? But tell me what you think in the comment section below. While you're down there, drop a thumbs up on the video. It really helps out the channel a ton. It helps get this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other people might see it who are interested in gaming news. And if that is you and you're new here, consider subscribing and clicking the bell. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.